So what is the 50-30-20 rule? Well, it's a basic guideline for finances and budgeting. This applies to pretty much anyone. I'm going to give you guys an example here for how this rule applies to the average person. So we're going to just say it's an average person after tax income. So after tax income, we're going to say that this person, their after tax income is about $30,000. So I guess that they would be taxed at, this person would make about what, $38,000 roughly. So they're making pretty much an average income. So, but their after tax income is $30,000. So that's the very first thing I need you to do if you want this rule to apply to you. What is your after tax income? And I need you to write that down. So we're going to start off with this number 50 here. And what does that mean? So what this means is that 50% of your income, that should be going to stuff called needs. And what are those needs, you ask? Well, those are things I would consider housing, so whether it's rent or mortgage, housing, utilities, food, and I guess transportation if you need to drive to work, or bus or whatever that may be, transportation. So there's other things too, but just basic necessities for you to live your life without having any sort of extra stuff. So again, for this person, for the typical person, that works out to $15K a year should be going to this stuff at maximum, or that equates to, just for most people, it's $1,250 a month. I just wanted to break that down into a more a simple form. So $1,250 a month should be going towards housing, utilities, food, and transportation. Now, what happens to a lot of people is that they'll make $40,000 a year and their housing will be close to $1,000, and so that doesn't leave too much for utilities, food, and transportation. So a lot of the times what I see is people renting, especially because mortgages, usually you have to pay less for mortgages than you do for rent, substantially less. So people who rent, they're usually closer to the maximum portion of this 50% than most people. So we're going to move on here to the 30%. So 30% of your after-tax income should be going towards stuff called wants. And so this is, it's pretty much what it sounds like. It's anything that's a want, so any sort of consumer purchase, But this is also stuff like your phone. Your phone's counted in here. This is haircuts. This is vacation. Anything which isn't a necessity to keep you alive with at least a decent standard of living, that's a want. So how much money does our average person here spend on wants? We're going to break that down. That's roughly $9K a year, or about $750 a month. And again, this is a very maximum here because we're going to move on to the next one here. And if you can, you'd want to inflate our next number here. So breaking that down, $750 a month for all your wants, you're good. All right. If you go above $750 for this person, you aren't good with your money if you do that. So we're going to move on here to the 20%. 20% goes to stuff like debts, savings, and I'm going to include this, but it wasn't included in the normal 50-30-20 rule, and investments. So ideally, you'd like to maximize this number as much as possible and keep these low as much as possible. I mean, for me, my wants are extremely low percentage, and so are my needs too. I mean, I live pretty frugally for doing pretty well, and this number here is super inflated. So especially a lot of wealthy people, they put a lot of their money into this category here, into this 20%. So this 20%, for a lot of people like me, it's probably closer to 40% or 50%. And so you'd want to maximize that number. But debts, savings, investments, so this is more anything over the minimum payment on like a mortgage, or more than the minimum payment on, I guess that would be the only need debt. So more than minimum payment. Yeah, so this would be on stuff like mortgages, credit cards, student loans, on any sort of debt. That's what this would go towards, so anything more than the minimum. Now we're going to include other things here. So this is stuff like 401k or a Roth IRA. That would be more in the savings category of this. So putting 20% of your income into, a Roth IRA, anything like that. Stock market, investments, real estate, your emergency fund, that counts. A side business, that counts. So 20% of your income should be going towards things in that category. So for this person, that works out to roughly $6K a year, or about $500 a month. What's really sad is that especially young people that are making about $30,000 after taxes, this number is close to zero, which is really sad. And a lot of my peers, especially too, they're starting to make good money, and they're all spending it. And it's just really unfortunate, because I know that they're smart and they know what they're doing, but they just keep doing it anyways, and they're not putting any money towards any sort of investing for the future to make their lives better in the future. So that's why this is important here. This will make your life better for a very short period of time, this number here, the wants, the consumer stuff. You're buying a TV, you want a nice fresh haircut, you want to go on vacation. That'll make your life better for a very short period of time, but putting your money in here will make you wealthy over time, so that you don't have to worry about money ever again. And then eventually one day you can buy anything you want in the wants in a decade. And so are you willing to put off that temporary satisfaction of your wants and even cut down on your needs here, like on maybe take a cheaper housing? Are you willing to cut down on those things so you can have a better future here for this 20% rule? I mean, ideally, I think I'd like to see a 40% here, probably about a 40% here and 20% here, because, well, realistically, this should be about 10%, but I think that it should be a 40-20-40 rule instead of a 50-30-20, but that's the standard rule for the average person that can't control their finances. So that's why I'm talking about it today. So that's going to wrap this video up. I'd like to thank you very much for watching. Do you have any comments? And what do you think your distribution here is in English? Is your needs at 70%? At 80%? Are your wants at 10, 20? Are your wants at 50%? At 30? If your wants are beyond 50%, yeah, go screw you. You haven't been watching this channel enough. Or at least you haven't been taking action about it. Are your investments 50%? I mean, are they 0%? I don't know. I'd like to know. So yeah, it's going to wrap it up. Thank you very much for watching. You're all very beautiful people. I'll see you guys in the next video.